As you all know, the new governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, used fear-mongering in regard to critical race theory in public schools to successfully win the election, the gubernatorial race. And so now he really wants to empower parents to rat out any teacher who basically teaches American history, teaches anything about slavery, teaches anything that makes their students or them uncomfortable. And so he put out a tip email address that people can use. And we all know how this goes. We've seen this happen a billion times. You're gonna put a phone number out there, you're gonna put an email address out there. We're gonna get a lot of fun comments, a lot of fun messages, and that's exactly what happened here. Shortly after the launch of the line, Qasim Rashad, a Virginia-based lawyer and former Democratic congressional candidate, tweeted sarcastically about it. Here's the tweet. GOP Virginia governor just set up a tip line to report schools and teachers who teach about racism. And then he shares the email. Whatever you do, don't make a mockery of this with fake tips. That would be a terrible thing to do. Retweet so everyone knows not to send fake tips. Now he knew what he was doing. Of course, everyone used that as an opportunity to send in fake tips. And some of them are pretty funny. So here are some of the complaints. Albus Dumbledore was teaching that full-blooded wizards discriminated against mudbloods, read a Harry Potter themed email reportedly sent to the tip line. Here's another one. Mrs. Krabappel and Principal Skinner were in the closet making babies, and I saw one of the babies and the baby looked at me, sent another message referencing The Simpsons. And then here's one more. My teenage son came home from school and told me his teachers are attempting to teach him. I'm outraged and find this completely unacceptable. Who do these teachers think they are? I don't need these teachers to educate the next generation. If they do that, how are we supposed to get people like you elected? This is madness, must stop. It's just, I mean, I don't think anyone even really checks that tip line to begin with, but I love that people are clowning on him. It's just, it's such nonsense.
I love the idea that we're trying to mobilize people to be tattletales and rats.
I know.
Like, I mean, it's so crazy. Like, that is crazy. That's one of the first things your parents teach you. Like, don't be a tattletale. Don't tell on your friends. Like, what are you doing? What are we turning this place into? You know, we talk about wussies and snowflakes and this and that, except for when it's time for these people to get all up in arms that somebody might learn about Harriet Tubman. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You know what? It's true, Waz, what you're saying, but I think this context is a little different because think about how well-funded and powerful teachers are. So to finally empower parents to go after those greedy, powerful, corporate-backed teachers, it just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? No, but like it's the same theme. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic here. It's the same theme that we see in politics overall. Like if you look at the broader picture, everything pits us against each other. Everything pits powerless people against other powerless people. And then by participating in that, by participating in the tattletaling and all of that, you said it perfectly earlier, Waz, it makes people think that they're engaging in politics. Like it makes them feel like they're doing something that makes them powerful, right? So it's actually, there's like a psychological component to it that's actually pretty devastating because it makes people think they're doing something worthwhile. It's making a difference.
Yeah, and again, to go after teachers, the most underpaid, underfunded, underappreciated group of people that we probably have in this country, right? I think about how we venerate freaking cops who, let's face it, man, a lot of cops, they getting good jobs, good pensions, good everything. Like they get treated well for the jobs that they do. They're actually compensated for those jobs. Whereas teachers, man, we treat them like dirt. And to think that we'd be punching down on these people who are doing God's work, quite frankly, is, it's pathetic and just a terrible, statement on where we are as a country. But yeah, a tip line to snitch on teachers is just, that's just ridiculous.
No, I mean, Glenn Youngkin really doing hard work in the great state of Virginia. I mean, this is what a real public servant focuses his time and energy on, really. All the other issues are solved, so I'm glad that he's laser focused on this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the Dems screwed that race up, by the way, by running some corporate shill who resonated with nobody, all the ninny, terrible, annoying parts of liberalism that everybody hates, with a corporate dash on it. Who wouldn't be mobilized to move for that dude? And so, whatever, the residents of Virginia are getting what they want, I guess.
Well, Terry McAuliffe, who was the incumbent Democrat who lost, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, he couldn't really run on any economic issues since he was just the same type of milquetoast corporate Democrat. And so he got sucked into the culture war. And so when that culture war was dominated by the whole CRT debate, critical race theory, there was a moment when Glenn Youngkin said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, parents should have a choice in regard to their children's education, which if you're a parent is a powerful statement. It's gonna speak to you. Every parent's gonna say yeah, I should have a choice. And Terry McAuliffe, his response was basically, no, they shouldn't, which is, which by the way, I actually agree with that statement, but it ain't gonna work in a political race, right? It's not a smart strategy. A smart strategy, if you were actually a Democratic governor who had evidence of really fighting for people, would be, this is silly. CRT is not being taught in public schools. You're actually distracting from the real issues. I want to talk about economic stuff. You know what I mean? But he couldn't do that. He couldn't do it because he was a loser corporate Democrat. So it is what it is.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.